Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Service Center Integration and API Management team, welcome to this exciting Flogo training that is brought to you in cooperation with our partners, TIBCO. Well, in this training today, we will talk about many of the buzzwords like OT, microservices, gateways, and lambdas. Well, expectation is that you know nothing about it, and after this you still know nothing about it, but you can fake it long enough. But before we go into the deep dive into why are we actually doing this, why is it so important, and why did we ask all the teams to cut a few hours in their otherwise busy schedules, I want to welcome on this stage our new product owner who has joined to strengthen API management team, Philippe dos Santos. Can you please give him a round of applause?
Thank you. So thanks, Alex. Welcome to all of you. Thanks for joining, for the ones who are traveling and who woke up early this morning. So everyone, thanks for joining this session, and the round of applause, can you give it also for Aleks, please, because he's been sweating a lot to organize this. And just some small words here. So maybe to place our team, API management team, within Air France KLM. So we are part of, for the ones who are from the company, so the dev organization, the task organization more specifically, the service center, and we are service center integration. So AMT is really focused on API matters, but then service center integration deals about all the SOA landscape for Air France KLM. So we are, as a API management team, the TIBCO mesh experts in Air France KLM. Our team is in Amsterdam. You know probably most of the persons. Vishal is via, Kapil is here as well, Aleks, of course, but also some people in Valbonne and Toulouse, over there, Fabian and Agnes. What we are doing is we are supporting API developers. We are publishing and operating all the APIs and the API platform. So this is our day-to-day work. Also, what we can say is that we cooperate with TIBCO to continuously improve mesh usage within our landscape. So we're taking advantages of the new technology, of the innovation coming from mesh TIBCO, and this is what we will see today. But also, we are already big users of TIBCO solutions. So mesh, of course, but also BusinessWorks for orchestration, for adaptators. So people who are using web services, in the end, you are using this products. So why are we here today? It's about promoting innovation within Air France KLM. So this training is really all about this. This is about looking at what's existing, what is coming, what is interesting for us. So get the most of it. If it's not working, then let's try it anyway, and we will see. So innovation is about this. Try it first. And of course, thanks TIBCO guys for coming, for joining. We really appreciate your venue. Yeah.
So thank you very much, Philip. In preparation to this session, we asked people to submit their interest, and we were quite surprised positively that there is a big interest in the serverless. So in fact, half of the respondents saying, well, can you tell me more, please, about serverless in general? Well, to give a bit of a head start, that serverless is about designing applications, because that's what we do, but the applications that do not require you to manage, scale any other service. So it's like really 3 points that are at the moment essential. We have, well, you have spoken, we have listened. We have today a very valued guest from TIBCO. So who can tell us whether or not it is actually true and where the industry is actually heading at. I would like to welcome to the stage Mr. Maurizio Canton. Let's give him a round of applause. Yeah. So Maurizio, would you introduce yourself first?
Yeah, so my name is Maurizio Canton, and I've been in TIBCO for 15, 16 years almost. So I'm working as a CTO for Europe, Middle East, and Africa. So I report into the CEO that TIBCO, that is Matt Quinn, that maybe you have seen before. So as I say, 16 years of TIBCO. Just to give you an idea, there was no business works when I joined. So just we go back, and a lot of change has done. If you look at, I don't know how many of you know TIBCO in detail, but yes, you know, I hope so. I hope the TIBCO people, you know, knows. But TIBCO now has, let's say, two main family of products. If we look, if we want to make some distinction, one is all the interconnection set of product, and one is the augmented intelligence. So the if we look at the interconnection cover all the connectivity between system, people, and data. Okay, so and this in the past year has been, you know, the spectrum of this integration has been increasing more and more. You know, you move from IT data center to more the edge type of data center or solution or integration and so on. So what we did at TIBCO is we moved this through this spectrum of the integration, our product and looking at our product to make them available everywhere and anywhere, and also to make them available to any type of user. Okay, so if you look now, and Leon will go much more in detail on this, you have a different type of user that are, let's say, use software or build application, or in any case need to make innovation, that are from, you know, the traditional developer, the business user, the citizen developer, and so on. So we build the new products based on the experience that we have done on the integration that are available anywhere. And with that means that you can have them on premise, you can have them on container, or you can have them in cloud, or you can have it on the edge. And with that, I mean, you know, anything that is not inside the IT traditional center. That could be, you know, from a server to a sensor. Okay, so to do that, we build what Leon will talk about today. That is called Project Flogo. Okay, we still have the same product with the same name that can run in any type of platform, but for the edge, we build the Project Flogo. That is, as you can see, is a different way to and lightweight to do integration, or to build, let's say, more the integration to build microservice or application. Okay, so this, you know, of course, serverless is something that we have been looking, and you will see that Project Flogo can be deployed, for example, on AWS Lambda as a serverless microservice. Okay, and we will have a lot of detail from Leon later. Okay, so what was in the slide is pretty right. Something that is also right is that to use serverless type of application, you should be already in cloud, or in any case thinking about cloud. Okay, if you are, or let's say some sort of cloud. Okay, that could be also private cloud, but you know, that makes sense. And also serverless is not for all type of application. Okay, it's for applications that are, for example, used not frequently or not every time or all days, but need scalability, or maybe need some sort of peak. They have some sort of peak time, so they need to be easy to scalable very fast. And so you don't want to use these server or resources always dedicated for this type of application, for example, because you use not very frequently. Okay. 2 words, and then I stop because he's already looking at me. I told you that I talk a lot. On the augmented intelligence instead, because you have everything, all the data available, okay, so you have a data process, people connected together. What you can do with the augmented intelligence is everything that goes from visualization to machine learning. Okay, so I can, for example, look at my data, understand what is happening, build model that I deploy, and then take action on what is happening. So also that part could be quite interesting, for example, for use cases like airline disruption or predictive maintenance or this type of information where you need to be active looking at something that, for example, is happening in real time and happening in the past. And with this, I finish. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Maurizio, for explaining to us why do we actually need to look into serverless and why it's made actually be attractive for us. So we are kind of on the right track. And actually, before we go even further, I want to tell you a bit of the background. So how did this service started? Sorry, how did this training actually started? It started from number of queries that we as AMT received historically, well, from product teams, from API product teams, who were requesting to do a micro gateway. So, and what exactly they were looking for something that would be team focused, that would be extensible, and it had to do in one way or another with enforcing the access to the APIs. And what most critically, what we couldn't offer out of the box with Meshery. So we were trying to see how we can help. We have tried another interesting sister technology from TIBCO, Project Meshlin, that our presenter will also touch a bit. And then we have realized that so far what we believe the Flogo is in fact the best fit so far to address these type of use cases. So to manage your expectations a bit, so this is what we're doing today. From 10 to 12, we're going to be a deep dive. There will be a break somewhere in between, so guys, feel free to talk and mingle, because that's the whole idea why we kind of asked as many people to join. And then what we'll do in the afternoon, we'll do a kind of lightning hacks with our trainer. So what do we, why do we want to reserve this time? As you are going through the session, you can have like, oh, I have an idea. I want to see how will it work for my projects. There is a board right there. It has ideas for the lightning hacks on the mini tribune. There are some stickies and the markers. I got the lightning idea, stick it in there. We'll see kind of what we can cover in this time. Further down the road, what we're going to do today, we're going to try to build 3 example use cases, which we have distributed, to start with the POC. So according to our trainers, according to TIBCO, how can we actually apply Flogo to meet these cases? And the importance of why we are doing it, why do we think the Flogo is an important addition to our stack, is mainly because of what we believe is APIs are important in general and for the integration between the companies. Actually, when I said that I have one guest speaker, I lied. We have 2 guest speakers today. Our second guest speaker is Mr. Oldrich Novak. So he works in the stripy company called Adidas, but at the moment he joined us as the citizen developer. So Oldrich, well, welcome. So it's a very it's exciting to see that leading European companies actually try out European technologies. Well, according to you, because you have been talking and presenting to other other conferences, if you make a cut across the board, what do other people tell you? Which kind of API integrations are they struggling with?
So, well, I can share what is actually main our struggle, and I have also seen the very similar struggles in the other companies. And there are actually mainly two. So one is, and the biggest one and the most difficult to tackle is how to achieve the API consistency. So this is not just talking about the naming guidelines and all that stuff, but it's going all the way to the complex stuff like how we align on semantic of the API, that the customer number is customer number and not something else. So to get that semantic right across multiple DevOps teams is really something very difficult to get. And that's what my team is trying to do with this API evangelist position. And the other stuff is the common, the easy, how to operate the APIs, because there's something that needs to be 24/7. There needs to be somebody who is always on the call, and it needs to be secure. Yeah? So even.
So that's definitely, we recognize these challenges, so it's reassuring to see that we're not the only one on this planet struggling with. Well, you have came all this way from Nuremberg. You took an early morning flight just to be here, so you must have some expectations about the Flogo. So can you share it with the public? So what do you currently expect to take out of this training?
Okay. So Flogo, I was just playing around a little bit, just from my personal interest. Because I like whatever is a new thing, I like looking into that one. So it's really important for me to look at from the innovation perspective. How I see Flogo, honestly, I didn't realize it can be used for the serverless. I was like more looking at these IoT kind of use cases. So I was thinking like, yeah, Flogo can be maybe this nice little micro gateway sitting in our stores to get the data in and out. We don't have that much IoT use cases in Adidas, but that store example can be the good one. But I also see Flogo as a potential, I would not say replacement, but very lightweight integration platform next to the business works, where you can really prototype quickly. And the big promise I see is, as it's built on the top of the Go language, that it's super lightweight and it can perform very well. So that's why I'm curious to see. I have no big experience, so I'm here also to learn with you guys. That was my main reason why I came. So hopefully I will be much more smarter after this session.
That's very great. Yeah. Thanks. Thank you, Oldrich.
Thanks.
Yeah. And of course, the session would not be complete without mentioning that we have realized that also with micro API gateways and lightweight integration framework, it actually fits and fits quite nicely, or could fit quite nicely, our IoT use cases. So the reason why we do it not just 1 day but 2 days is because we from the Service Center Integration, we want to see can we also hit two birds with one stone and extend Flogo as well to the IoT landscape. Well, I don't want to pretend that I'm an expert in IoT. I would like to welcome on the stage Jeroen, our domain architect in IoT.
All right. Yeah, so the trigger, we were talking about Flogo, and luckily that's the power of serendipity. That same day I had a talk with a person who was handling a IoT case with a baggage loader. So you have a load belter, baggage goes through, you have an RFID tag, and it's being scanned, and the scanner messages go to an IoT platform. So the case is we want to do something kind of a callback, so processing that's happening, having an effect on the way the load belter is performing. So, of course, the belt loader is moving. So you want to have that kind of logic as edge and as quick as possible. So that triggered me to say, oh, this might be a good case to contribute to this training. And so tomorrow in the morning, we will go with the people from TIBCO to get a feel from the case, to do a small demo for the belt loader and to see what we can come up with. And then in the afternoon, we will come back here. So people who are interested in that case, in the IoT applications and use cases for Flogo in general, please come back tomorrow at 1, and we'll be here, and we will do a presentation of a more general presentation of the link between Flogo and IoT, and specifically also we will present any results we got from the morning session. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So,
great. Yeah. So guys, but now I think it should be very clear what exactly happens today and what exactly will happen tomorrow. So it's time for us to actually to wrap up and to yield the floor to our trainer. But before we yield, there is one important thing that we want to summarize regarding the state of the Flogo in FKLM and what's going to happen next. With this, I want to invite back Philippe dos Santos in his capacity of the product owner at the AMT team. Philippe?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. So yeah, first of all, enjoy your training. So this is a good opportunity, guys, to share together, to learn new things. We have the specialists here, so don't hesitate to go to them and ask good questions. Also about strategical vision. Maurizio is here, so it's a good opportunity, guys, if you have some questions, maybe more general about integration as well. So enjoy it. Share with us your feedback, of course. We need that to know what would be the next steps for us. Shall we go further? Shall we stop? Okay, this is also a possibility. So we need to have your feedback for that. You will be using that technology. We can help you to make kind of industrialization, facilitation for that. We may use it as well, by the way. But yeah, guys, we need your feedback. During and after the event, of course. Don't hesitate to come back to us. Put some ideas on the board over there, as it was mentioned before. So it's an experimental approach, as we said. We try, okay? If after this session we think that there is something interesting, we go to a POC. So let's try it a little bit more in details. Let's see how we can get the most of it, and show it also to other people. So POCs is the next step, of course. There will maybe be a follow-up event in Valbonne and Toulouse, because here in Amsterdam, a lot of people could not join. So the idea also is to try to see how we can arrange this kind of training as well in Toulouse and Valbonne. Even if we have the video, but yeah, that's maybe not the most handy way to participate. Yeah, and also what is important is that we need to take also acknowledgement of this technology with the other teams in the organization. So technology office, also the tech is the support for the developer. So the team that is working closely with developers who help them to develop and have the expertise on the product. You all know about that. So yeah, the idea is really to get a full involvement of the company. If we see that, well, this is the way to go ahead, then we will make it happen with the full landscape for AFKL company. So guys, enjoy your training. Yeah.
Now this is the time to welcome our the hero of the day, Leon Stichter. Leon, so you are wearing the blue TIBCO shirt. You're the only one.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm the one with friends in marketing apparently.
Yeah. So it's impossible to hide. So my apologies. Now you have to do it. So maybe you can introduce yourself to the crowd.
Sure. Thank you.
Now you can finish it because you will.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, I'm going to be talking for quite some time. So I hope that this is going to be okay. So good morning, goedemorgen, ciao, bonjour, guten Morgen. And I think I covered pretty much every language except for Hindi. I'm sorry, my Hindi isn't as good as it used to be. We'll work on that during the break. I promise. My name is Leon Stichter, as you can see on the slide behind me with the terrible picture. You really took the worst picture that you could find. Thank you, I appreciate that. So I'm a developer advocate at TIBCO, and what does that mean? That essentially means that I get to go out, meet developers, meet awesome customers like yourselves, and help them get the most out of our technology. I mean, I'm not here to sell you technology. I mean, I couldn't sell you technology even if I tried to. My main goal is to make sure that I tell you about the awesome things that we're doing, and that you can have honest feedback about what you like, what you don't like, sort of the good, the bad, the ugly, so that I can take that back to our product teams. That literally is my goal in life, professional life, obviously, not personally.
All right.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, are you ready to grab the laptop?
Yeah, I am. I'm ready to take off.
Yeah, you're ready.
That was going to be my first airline joke today. Probably my only, because I'm not that great with airline jokes.